Hello, friends, and welcome back to Malicious Compliance Stories. Let's start our video with the story in which our OP turns a neighbor's complaint into a perfect act of petty revenge. But before we begin, best way to support our channel is to leave comments, like, and subscribe with a turned-on bell so you don't miss the new video every single day. Here we go. My neighbors are trying to claim adverse possession after building on our land. This situation's been a long time in the making, and it's incredibly frustrating to watch my parents go through this. Back in 2004, our neighbors built part of their house, about a quarter of it, on our land without asking for permission. My parents didn't even realize this had happened until around 2018 or 2020 when the neighbors informed them. As it turns out, the neighbors were getting a divorce, and part of the settlement involved the ex-husband buying the land they had built on from my parents so that the woman could legally own the entire house and land. My parents had no problem with this. They measured the land and compared the price to other similar plots that the ex-husband had sold to others in the neighborhood. The price came out to be about £20,000. Everything seemed to be moving forward, but then the woman came back to my parents begging them to lower the price because her ex-husband thought it was outrageous, even though it was a fair price based on the market. Feeling bad, my parents agreed to lower the price to £16,000. But instead of moving forward, the neighbors stopped trying to buy the land. They got a new solicitor and are now trying to claim adverse possession, attempting to get the land for free by arguing that they've used it without interruption for years. When my mom confronted the woman asking if she was really going to lie in court to get the land for free, the woman flat out said yes. To add insult to injury, the ex-husband's a millionaire, the son of a multimillionaire worth over $200 million. They can easily afford the land, but they're trying to cheat my parents out of it. It's incredibly disheartening to see my parents, who have always been fair and reasonable, being taken advantage of by these wealthy neighbors who clearly knew they were in the wrong from the start. Update. Despite the frustrating situation, my parents refused to back down. They decided to consult a lawyer who specialized in property disputes and prepared to fight the adverse possession claim. With clear documentation proving ownership and the fact that the neighbors had acknowledged the land belonged to my parents in their initial discussions, they had a strong case. The legal process took some time, but in the end, the court ruled in favor of my parents. The neighbors' claim of adverse possession was dismissed, and they were left with no choice but to either buy the land at the original price or move part of their house off our property. Realizing they couldn't win, the ex-husband begrudgingly agreed to the original £20,000 price. So guys, my parents stood their ground and justice prevailed. Now they can finally put this stressful chapter behind them and focus on enjoying their home without the worry of being cheated by unscrupulous neighbors. Do you think people make it to being millionaires by giving a crap about other people? Screwing people over and squirming their way out of paying what they owe is a huge part of what makes a lot of these people millionaires. And our second story. Give me my effing lottery ticket. I've worked in retail for almost 5 years now. I was 17 when I started working, and I'm almost 22, so I have a lot of stories. This one's rather recent. I got trained behind the customer service desk in a big company that rhymes with Mesco in the UK. We sell the lottery, Lotto, Euro Millions, Thunderball, Set for Life, etc. This woman came in one day and asked for a Lotto ticket on a Thursday. Lotto's only on a Wednesday or Saturday, so I asked her if she wanted it for Saturday. She said no. She wanted it for tonight. I informed her Lotto was not done on a Thursday, and Thursday was Thunderball, Set for Life, or the Health Board lottery. She legitimately went from nice to angry in a second. Like I flipped a switch. This woman is now called CW, Crazy Woman. No, I always buy the Lotto on a Thursday. You can buy the Lotto for a Thursday, but the draw is Wednesday or Saturday. No, it's tonight. I'm very sorry, ma'am, but I have the machine in front of me, which tells me what games are going on which days. Tonight, Set for Life, Thunderball, or Health Board lottery. No, it isn't. Tonight is Lotto. Give me a Lotto. She yelled at this point. I can print off a Lotto, but this will be for Saturday. Once printed, you'll need to pay for it. Is this okay? No, Lotto is on an effing Thursday. I buy this every week. I have never seen this woman before. Okay, I'm going to print you off a lotto, I said, defeated, and printed off lotto like she asked. She read the ticket and hit the roof that it said Saturday on it, slammed it on the table, and cursed at me. I effing said Thursday. Okay, ma'am, what color is the ticket you're after? Lotto is red, Thunderball is purple, Euro Millions is yellow, etc. It's purple, like it's always effing been. I'm sorry, ma'am, the Thunderball is purple, but Thunderball is on a Thursday. Is that the one you're after, maybe? Why are you lying? Lotto is purple. I'm not lying. Thunderball is purple, but the lotto is red. Lotto is not effing red. Will you get me someone who knows what they're doing? At this point, I called down my manager, who's a gem. He loves me. We're amazing friends and get along really well. I explained to him what was happening, and he said, I'm sorry, miss, my colleague's right. Lotto's on a Wednesday and Saturday, and is indeed red. The woman looked homicide. Okay, ma'am, why don't you go down to the lottery station down there and pick out the paper slip you want and choose your numbers, then I can put it through and give you your ticket, I said, trying to help still. No, I want you to do your job and put my numbers in. She then told me her numbers. 5. 5 numbers. Lotto is 6 numbers. Want to know what lottery is 5? Thunderball. I explained this to her and she threw her hands up in dismay. Fine, effing print me off a Thunderball. I did, with her numbers. Silence. I saw the color from this woman's face drain. She looked sheepish. Did I help you find what you're looking for? I asked nicely, my manager trying to hold back his laughter. The woman looked mad, but couldn't say jack to me. Yes, thank you, she grumbled, paid, and left. Biggest yikes I've had in a while. Too many ways to cheat stupid people out of their money. It killed me a little when I read that she demanded that you do your job and enter the numbers for her. Oof. And our last story. Trespassing neighbor. Our next door neighbor has a 13 or 14-year-old autistic son. I'm by no means qualified to make this assumption, but he appears nonverbal and severely autistic. Lately, he's been roaming to the point where their high school daughter, his older sister, will call us asking if we've seen him. I guess they've recently varied his medicine, and some of this is a reaction to it. Anyways, we have a decent-sized in-ground pool in our yard. It's actually far enough away from the house where we apparently legally don't have to have a fence. We do have a fence around it, but due to the ground shifting from water, the area has a drainage problem. The latch on the fence does not work great, and it effectively remains open. Lately, the kid's been roaming, and in the past few weeks has discovered the pool. Every time he comes over, we call his parents to come get him. Just today, I look down the driveway and see a scooter sitting on the ground in the middle of it, and immediately go, oh no, and look to the backyard to see him in the pool. To make matters a little worse, as I rushed out there, from what I saw, I wouldn't call him a fantastic swimmer by any means. We've expressed concerns with his parents many times, and they obviously know he shouldn't just be roaming. His father has admitted to us our pool makes him nervous, although they have a pool in their backyard as well, along with telling us autistic kids tend to be attracted to water. I'm growing increasingly frustrated with this situation. He continues to roam, despite the parents saying they're adding alarms and cameras. I'm rambling a little bit here, but I can't imagine they can't get some sort of proximity sensor or something to understand when he leaves the house or yard. It's certainly not a great situation over there, as I know a divorce is occurring between the parents, and they often lose him to the point where they call the police. Which does make me wonder at what point the police escalate further action, but that's besides the point. I don't want to make life worse for them, as I'm sure it's hard, but I think I need to be a little selfish here. Anyways, I'm very worried about any legal exposure I might have to this. I have very little understanding about any sort of liability laws and how unprotected or protected I am. I've made it clear now many times to voice my concerns, but I'm curious if I should be doing more. I've made sure to let his parents know my concerns about the situation many times, and at some point over text, just so there's some sort of paper trail. I've thought about installing cameras around my pool area. Annoys me I'd have to go out and spend a couple $100 specifically for this, but it might be worth it. Repairing the fence and adding locks to it is moving up in priority. But to be honest with you, it's a 5-foot fence, and this kid could probably climb it if he wants to. I feel bad writing this, I really do. Obviously, I hope nothing ever happens, and I'm sure it won't. But from the behavior I've seen, I'm starting to wonder how many times he ventured out when I'm not around. It's made me rethink everything, which is getting annoying, to be honest, such as if I'm out working in the yard, I'm probably keeping the garage door closed. Lots of tools and power tools that could be dangerous. I wouldn't have a problem of him coming to my pool if his parent brought him, although I'm not sure I want to reinforce that behavior, but him swimming unsupervised scares me to death. I'm not even sure I'd feel good about a really strong swimming, non-autistic 13 or 14-year-old boy swimming on his or her own unless I had a really strong confidence I didn't have a ton of liability exposure. I'm also getting to the point where if this keeps happening, I'm going to question how hard the parent's trying to keep him around. Usually when he goes roaming, there isn't a parent running down the driveway after him. They have no clue where he is. Update. Fence gate has, as of this morning, had a bike lock put on it. It's essentially latched now, and unless he chooses to climb the fence, he can't get in. I just bought some decent motion detecting solar cameras. I was probably overdue for some small home automation anyways, to be honest. We've been in constant communication with his father, who's a very nice guy and makes this whole situation harder by that fact. He says they've been in touch with the school about getting tracking on him, but he refuses to wear it. He can't comprehend he's not allowed in our pool. So actually, this one just made me feel worse. Looking at getting the full fence cleaned up and repaired eventually, although to be honest, that's more just cosmetic than anything because the bike lock serves the same functionality. Fencing in the yard just really isn't practical. It's a 5-acre lot. Fencing in the pool is probably the solution, which it already mostly is. Although I think I'll be putting a physical key lock on my shed as well. It's a tough situation. Obviously, I don't want to see the kid drown, and I feel bad because at the end of the day, he just wants to go swimming. He does have a decent above-ground pool at his house, so I don't feel that bad, but still. If there were a situation where his dad could bring him over supervised here and there, then I'd be okay with it. But that's not the case, and his dad says that would simply confuse him. Hey guys, thank you all for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one.